All right, guys, welcome back. We are back at it on the staining of the garden beds and fence pickets, and as you can see, we've got all these out here that are all finished and ready to use. We still got more over here to stain and everything, but I think I've got enough right now to build probably at least 10 beds. Although I got to cut up some 2x4s for the corner supports and get those stained before I can do that. But the goal this morning is to start assembling the first garden bed there. I'm going to kind of walk you guys through that process and how it all goes together, and you can kind of see how I put it together. Again, you know, using these fence pickets for garden beds and staining them will help them last a lot longer. But also, I mean, for, you know, $20 a garden bed for, you know, 3 by almost 12 feet garden bed, I think that works really well. It's very cost effective, especially, you know, if you just don't have a lot of resources to put towards, you know, making kind of, I guess, fancy garden beds. But you know, a basic garden bed, it'll still grow stuff in there as long as you take care of it and water your plants and everything. It works just fine, and that's what we needed to do. So I think that's I think these are gonna work really, really good. And you know, again, to put in 25 beds at $20 a piece, you know, right around $500 for 25 3 by 12 beds, which is a lot of garden space. So I think that'll work well for us. You know, initial investment, I think the reward's going to pay off far greater than what we paid for the materials. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So I've got my first piece lined up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm using a 1 5/8" screw to attach these to the 2x4s, and I'm just putting it right here on the end. Goes right in. And I've just basically got it started right there. Basically, what I've done here is I've attached this corner, and then this one here, I have kind of put it halfway on that 2x4, so I could add the second one to make this the second, kind of the middle joint there for the garden beds. And what I'll do is I'll set it up and get ready to add the next two, and then we'll be able to do the sides after that. So it's going to be really important here. I'll kind of try to show you guys down here at the bottom if you look down right there, you'll notice that the 2x4 doesn't quite go all the way to the top. And that's designed that way so that you don't, if you fill up the garden bed all the way, you can cover up those corners if you wanted to. But it also gives a little bit of flexibility in terms of, by making that length, you know, the boards can have a little bit varying widths, and this ensures that it's not going to ever go past. So that's why you do that. So when doing the middle joint there, it's important to make sure you line up your boards along the bottom so that it'll sit flush. Is done there, as far as that's how the side there. I mean, you can see that's pretty good size as far as lengthwise. So I think this will work really great. I mean, it'll give us a lot of extra garden space. All right, so you may be wondering, you're like, hey, that one's sticking out way above the top of the garden bed, and that is because that will be the corner right there. That corner will actually be the taller post that we were talking about, where we'll put a solar like fence post cap on there, and that will be the light for that garden bed. Each of these garden beds will have a solar fence post cap with a light, just to make it more beautiful, like we had said. But that's why that one is much longer than the other ones that you don't see sticking out. So not a mistake. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. Hey Hook, you gonna help? All right, so I just attached the second piece there to make the 4x4 fence cap post for this garden bed. So now we're going to go ahead and attach the ends. Right over there, you'll see the ends right there. We'll go ahead and attach those, and then this garden bed will be done. Okay, so not having a kind of perfectly level driveway will make it a little bit tough to get those corners lined up, but I'm just going to line it up with the boards and we should be just fine. Now I'm going ahead and I'm starting my screws ahead of time so that once I get it lined up where I want it and I'm holding it there, I can just screw in a screw and I don't have to fumble with trying to get it to start. All right, well, that was the last corner there. The first bed is done. And we have our little light cap post over there, but yeah, these are gonna work great. I think on these beds here, kind of where you see, I'll probably put in between on each of those sides, kind of where you see in between the boards there. But you turn this around here, but yeah, if you see right here in the middle of the boards, I think I'm probably going to take some shorter fence post pieces and I'll just kind of, we'll stain them and I'll attach them right there, and that should add a little bit of support for those long stretches there. But and I have plenty of leftover fence picket pieces to use for that, so it won't be an added expense. Although if you were doing it, you might just pick up a few extra fence pickets. So I'm just taking something like this, you know, anywhere from about 9 to 10.5 inches in length with what I have, and we'll stain them and screw them in there, and that will kind of give it a little bit more stability for those long stretches. I think I'll just feel a little bit better about it that way. I mean, it's a little bit extra work, but I think it will be worth it in the end. I mean, I think the garden beds would be fine. It's just with those boards, they're going to want to bow out or bow in. And because there's nothing holding the boards together in the middle, I think this will kind of help prevent having that bow or that differential where you have one board maybe sticking out and one board kind of sucking in and creating kind of that warped, uneven look. So this will keep the sides nice and straight. And it's, you know, doesn't require much extra material as far as lumber goes. You know, just extra fence pickets, little scraps that we have around here. We like to do it that way. Anything we can reuse, or, you know, any scraps that we have that can go to a project, we try to use that to save money. So the finished product here, this bed, it costs about $20 to make, and that's not including the stain that we purchased for this. We bought a 5-gallon bucket of stain for around $200. So if you divide that amongst the well, I think this one is going to do enough to do 5 gallons will do about 10 beds or so. So for 25 beds, probably, you know, take about, and we still have a little bit of stain left, but it will probably take a total of 10 gallons. So $400 over, you know, spread that over the cost of the entire 25 beds, and roughly say maybe add another $8. So all said and done, you're still coming in under 30 when you include the stain. You know, and there's different prices on stain, so depending on that, you could probably find it for maybe cheaper, depending on what you go with, just as long as it's a stain and sealant on those, so you can keep the moisture out. But overall, it turned out really well. Really happy with how these came out, and happy to get a whole bunch of those built and put down. So 1 to go, or 1 down, I should say. 1 down, 24 more to go. So we'll have our hands full over the coming weeks of getting these built, moved over to the garden area, and then filled with dirt and then planted. So plenty to do, but we're happy to do it. It's going to be a huge win for us in the homestead here to get add 25 beds. I think currently we only had 9 beds, so 25 is almost 25 more would almost triple our garden space in terms of how much the ability we have to grow things. So super excited about it. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.